Good morning, guys, and some of you might remember what this box is that we had to push out here, but today we are going to get to work on the race car. I really need to get going on this thing because once Josh's car comes back, Travis's car comes back, Omar's gets ready, and we have a couple others getting ready for TX2K2. I don't think I'm going to have time for getting my personal car together, so definitely going to have to start getting going on it, getting this thing in. And since we are kind of running out of time, I haven't figured out a really good way to paint the cage inside the car. I know Steve, if you guys watch Stevetuned, he painted his cage with a brush. I think that would probably be the best route. I don't really want to deal with rattle canning it in the car because you guys saw how much overspray was going around with doing the engine bay. So obviously if you were to try to tape all that off, it would be almost impossible. We'll see how I feel a bit later today because we are going to have to pull this whole entire interior of the car apart today to be able to do this. And this is the original harness to the car. So you can see there's a cluster. This is the whole entire chassis harness of the car in here, and obviously there's a couple other boxes sitting in here that have made their way into it. But this is not just like an engine harness, guys. This is a whole entire box, halfway up me, full harness of the entire car. So I have yet to do this on this year. I have done this on an older 04 WX I used to have that I converted to an STI, and I did the full chassis harness swap. First time doing it, definitely a lot less mechanically inclined at that time. You know, that was at more the beginning stages of working on cars. It took me about 2 days to do it, and that was pull the harness out of both cars and switch it. So I'm hoping I could get this harness at least in the car today to where we can start getting it tucked up and look up nicely. Let's take a look in the garage. I did move out Hyperblues, so we had some room to work because obviously with two cars in here, I don't have enough room to open these doors open enough to what I'm gonna need. And so I went ahead and just moved it out. Transmission's still on its pallet. The shipper I think I'm gonna pick is gonna come Monday, now being Thursday. So should be going out soon. The Trans at Prime motoring is already done and ready to ship out too. I'm just sending them mine as a core, and they're sending me another transmission so we can kind of save on time because like I said, we are running out of time from now to Texas. So here's the car. If you look, this is part of the Y. See the car's still in the air, doors opening. So I do need to hook up these little straps here for the doors back up because I imagine they had the doors off at one point in time. So I need to hook these back up so I can actually have this door stay open, or it's gonna be a lot of fun today. Interior of the car obviously came back from fabrication, and this is what it looks like. Now we do have a brand new carpet for the car. Obviously it's not in there because I wasn't needed for fab. I did already start by pulling the center console out here. They have a mount built for the staging brake. That stuff's all gonna have to come out, and we do need to get the seat out. This is part of why I need the other car out of here, is because to get the seat out is not gonna be fun with having a cage. If any of you have ever pulled a seat out before, you already know how difficult it is without a cage. So having a cage adds a whole new side of that. Yes, we can get this thing out of here. We have a new steering wheel for this thing. This thing's gonna come off. We have to pull the whole entire dash out of the car because we need to run our harness in there. You guys will get to see more of the fab work in here. Something that's in order. I did take the whole pedal assembly out of here for when we were painting the engine bay. And I'm sorry if I'm shaking. I'm holding this damn door that keeps pushing on me. So we got a ton to do today, guys, and get this thing together. I'm gonna try to record as much as I can for you guys. We're inside the car, so recording is gonna be kind of difficult. Obviously getting the best angle is gonna be difficult because it is just me, but I'm gonna do my best, try to make it, you know, as descriptive as I can and show you guys as much as I can with getting as much work done as I can. So as you can see here, here is our engine bay. We are gonna probably put this thing back on the ground. The engine bay has been now drying, as you guys can assume, for I think about 4 days now. So this thing is all the way dry. Obviously I need to bolt up back down. So this thing's all the way dry, so that way I can put our suspension back into it, get this thing maybe on the ground, or at least bring the back up and have it level so that those damn doors stay open. We'll see if I can get that striker, I think is what that's called, hooked back up. If I can, then we'll probably be fine. But if I can't, then we're gonna need to get suspension on, get this thing on the ground. So let's go ahead, get to work. I'm gonna try to mess with that striker real quick. I'm not gonna be able to show it because obviously I'm gonna be holding the door and inside the car. So I'm gonna try to mess with that real quick. If that doesn't work, then we're just gonna throw the suspension on it and sit the car down and kind of work on it from there. So let me try that and we'll come back in. Good news, guys, we made progress. We did get that, I believe, like I said, I believe it's called a striker. We did get that bolted back on. As you can see, our door is now staying open. I did take the door panel off so I can actually go ahead, hook up the door handle from the inside. We can plug in the window motor on this side. And now, with this door being like this, I can actually work on the car. We can try to get the seat out. I do believe that side's gonna be a little bit difficult. If I gotta take the seat out that side, then we're definitely gonna have to put suspension on the car, put it back on the ground and move it over, because I'm not gonna have enough room over there to get that seat out and get that door open. As you can tell here, I mean, it's probably about 3 feet, maybe. I would get it out, but I could just move the car over. So we are now finally gonna be able to start making progress on the inside of this thing. It's kind of nice to get out here, guys. As you guys have seen, the upload's been a little bit slower with the weather and how cold it is, and really just hasn't been very motivating, to be honest with you guys. So actually getting out here, and we are in the garage. It looks to be like a decent day out, but it is really deceiving. It's really cold outside. So I got the heat coming into the garage, and it's a nice temperature in here. So I'm actually nice to be motivated. And those of you that do work on your cars, you know, as a hobby or whatever you understand, you know, sometimes you just don't have the motivation. So something to do, guys, and I suggest is just get out here. And once you get out here and start working on it, you usually get motivated and go through it. That's like I am today. I'm super excited to actually have that motivation back, get to work, get going on this thing, and get it together. So let's go ahead with our first steps here. We're gonna try to get the seat out. Hopefully I can pull it out this side. We can get the steering wheel off of here, because like I said, we have a new one anyway, so I'm gonna get that off. I'm gonna drop the column, which is 2 bolts under there. Once I do that, I'm gonna grab that shifter assembly out of there, and staging brake may stay there. It's gonna be a little bit difficult because obviously we have brake lines going to it, and I really don't want to leak brake fluid into the car. So might think about that, or maybe I'll just take the handle off down there. That might work too. So we'll see. I got to do a little bit of planning there on that, but let's go ahead, focus on getting this thing ready to get the stash out of here so we can start making some progress.
Just
As you guys just saw, we got this thing all the way apart, and I can definitely say I got my personal jungle gym at home, because this thing's kind of a pain. Obviously, we're in a tighter area, and getting in and out. One thing I gotta tell you, if you have a cage, grab all your tools, because getting in and out for tools definitely sucks. But we got our dash all the way out of this thing, everything's down. We were able to leave our staging brake where it was, thank God. I really didn't want to take that apart and have it leak into the car. So now that we've gotten this far, we can go ahead and start laying out this harness in the car. I'm going to start by taking off all our blue tape up there. We can get our pedal assembly back up too. First off though, like I said, we're going to get this harness and we're going to lay it out. And it's not going to be fun, guys. This is definitely not going to be fun. That harness is definitely heavy. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the box, get it in here. I'm going to start laying out on the floor. You guys can check it out. And we're going to try to get that thing up in the car and see if we can get this thing together. Our first thing that we're wanting to do is decipher which side goes where, and obviously we know that this side is going to be our side that goes onto the passenger side. How I justify that is, this is the side you'll probably all notice and kind of pick up on what it is. This is your main harness connector that goes in the passenger side of the engine bay. This goes through the firewall. So we do know that this is the passenger side, and we now know that that's the driver's side. So I'm going to go ahead, get this thing in the car, see what bolts and nuts we are missing that we're gonna need, and kind of go through this thing, see what we got to do to get it to run through the holes that are in there. And this thing's not light, guys, so yes, I would have liked to have done a full harness for the Motec, but it wasn't planned to go the Motec route at all. And at least for this year, we're gonna use this harness. That's what our adapter is for, our Motec. Some of you will be like, well, why the heck put it back in the car? It's already out. Well, building a race car obviously is not cheap, and going the Motec route, at least we have a good ECU and it utilizes this harness. Giving that guys an idea, you know, going a Motec route and doing a custom harness in the car. I did get a quote for it, and it was near $20,000 to get a full harness to the car with the Motec and everything it needs in the car and ready to race. So this route is about, I'd say right around, you know, I wouldn't say a quarter, but a little bit over a quarter of that. So for right now, this made more sense. It made more sense to me to have the transmission for the car, have the car more set up, have everything for the motor and everything for the front of the car and fab work done, versus a harness that I can put in at any time. So we're gonna just use this. I was gonna use a stock ECU, but we ended up going the Motec route. So that's what we're gonna use. We are gonna put this back in, and some of you are also gonna disagree with putting the interior back in the car. And, you know, everyone's different. I like interior in my cars. This car is gonna be full interior from the front seats forward, including carpet, whole dash, everything seals, full interior car. And, you know, people are like, why the heck are you trying to do that? It's a race car. Well, that's just my preference, you know, and in the end, it's my choice to do it anyways. You guys can definitely build your cars however you want, but for me, I like to have the interior in there. So for whatever it is, you know, 100 pounds maybe, if that, maybe I doubt it's gonna be more than that, but if anything, it doesn't matter to me. I'll just make more power and turn the car up. So that's what we're going with, and that's gonna be the look I'm gonna do. Now, enough talking, let's get this in the car. So I've been putting this harness through the car, looking, it's kind of like a puzzle piece at this point. You know, it wouldn't be nearly as bad if I had been the one to pull the harness out of the car. When I got the car, as you guys saw in the first videos, it didn't have any harness in it at all. This thing already had a Motec harness in it before that was custom built to it. So this harness has been out of the car in this box for I don't know how long. And it's definitely a lot harder than it looks when, like I said, you didn't take it out, because now, as you can tell here, I have a harness laid out here and just deciphering, which direction this goes or where it goes. And this is further than I've ever gone in one of these years of cars, because I don't usually have to deal with the electrical side of it. So look, there's another harness there. We have our harness wrapped around here. I did get that side up and kind of get an idea of where it needs to go. I'm getting this side up right now, but it's just going to be, time consuming. You got to kind of go through and figure out what is what and where goes what, and it's going to take time. I'm not going to make you guys sit through that time lapse, because that's going to be a good minute. So I'm going to go ahead and get the scene as far as I can, and I'm going to update you and show you guys where I'm at, because I doubt you guys want to just sit here and watch a time lapse of me doing pretty much the same thing going back and forth. So let me knock that out, see where we get, and I'll catch you guys up. So I'm gonna do a quick update before I go grab some lunch, and I'll tell you what, guys, this definitely, I don't know how to explain it. Obviously it's not fun, but my biggest advice I could give anyone is don't get overwhelmed. It's very easy to get overwhelmed, but they all go somewhere. If you're not careful, some will plug into the same spot. So you're gonna have to look at it, figure out the layout, figure out where things go, and just start laying it out. And that's what I'm doing. This isn't going to be its final resting place. I'm just getting everything sorted out. So if we take a look at it in here, you can see how big of a freaking mess I got going on here. And I do have the harness ran up and over the steering column there. Once I got it to that point, I was looking through, because you can see that things have been cut on this harness before, which makes me a little bit concerned. That there looks to just be airbag. Obviously this car doesn't have any airbags anymore, but there's bigger things that have been cut off, and I'm guessing they used that for when they made the harness for it before. One being the throttle. So this does have drive-by-wire, and obviously that means it's going to be wiring going to the throttle. So that is cut off. So I was at that point where I was trying to justify if I should just buy a new harness for the car, but with going through it a bit more, I didn't find anything else cut. And I believe just if we have that one there at the throttle that we need to wire on, that's fine. I can go ahead and solder on a new connection, which I did find one locally. Thankfully, that someone's partying on a car, I was able to get that connector so I can get that wired on. So I went ahead and continued with putting this harness in, and with the help of Hyperblue and going out and looking at it and looking where some things go, I was able to get most of the thing laid out. You can tell that I have pieces just laying here, and that's how you are able to figure out which wires go where. So I have a good portion of this harness in, and now I'm running the rear portion here right now. So that's what we're at right now. Like I said, I'm gonna go grab some lunch, because it's about halfway through the day. We've already spent half a day on this and haven't made too much progress, but if you look, I got doors that hold themselves now. That's pretty nice. Makes it a lot nicer to work on the car. So I know Craig, if you're watching this, we probably should have done that before it went to Fab, because that would have made his job a lot easier with the cage. But I'm gonna go grab some food and get back to work on this thing. Hopefully we can get it to the point where we have the whole harness in the car today, and we can make some progress of whether it be putting the interior back in if we don't get that far, and finishing the interior tomorrow. So let's hope so. Fingers crossed. Time to go get some food. Fast forwarding quite a bit later in the day. It's completely dark outside, as you guys can see. And this thing has been going along good. Once you actually sit down, calm down, go through it, it's not too bad. I did end up getting this thing basically all together, and I gotta say I'm pretty happy with how much I was able to tuck the original OEM wire harness, because if any of you ever have pulled the interior part of your car, whether it be putting in a stereo or taking off a door panel or going through the panels, you can kind of see how loosely, I guess would be the word, ran the OEM harnesses. So I was able to tuck it up, make it look like it was factory. So let's take a look in here. Looking in here, look at that, guys. This is with a harness all the way in. It looks really good. Runs over the factory spot, over the hoop there. Still have a couple loose wires in the center I'm working with, and coming along the side here, it all goes along like it should from the factory. I might just tie it up a little bit more right there is all, but everything goes up. And dude, check out where our dash goes. Really happy with this. Let me try to get some better light on it for you. So really happy of how all these wires got tucked up, because it looks super clean. Everything's nice and out of the way as much as I can. These wires you see right here actually go to the dash piece that goes here. That would be for like your rear trunk prop, you know, your gauge cluster lights, things like that. So that's what those are there. That's why they're sitting loosely. But this thing looks so good, guys. I'm really happy with it. I got to finish over on the passenger side some more. You can tell there's quite a bit of loose wires, but I already ran it all the way over there. Did the same thing in the factory spot, all mounted like it should be. Ran underneath the panel and back. I'm still finishing in the back, as you can tell there. It's all apart. So this thing is coming together. You know, super happy just jumping in and doing it, because definitely was kind of one of those things, you know, you didn't really want to do, but you just got to get it done. And now that we have it this far, I actually enjoyed a lot of it. It was really nice going through, being able to clean it up, you know, having to learn every bit of this car is always nice. We're literally building this car from the ground up, guys. There's 100% nothing in the car when I got it. There was no drivetrain, there was no wire harness in the entire car. At fabrication, we had cut off almost everything that had already been done to it. The only thing that was left would be the hoop for the cage, which you guys can see here. It is going to be this portion, because you can see it still has the surface rust on that from there back. Here, better light, so you can kind of see it there. And then you can see the front is all brand new. So we have definitely built this car from the ground up, and I'm super happy to be able to share with you guys, have a build log. You guys are getting to see more in depth than probably anyone ever does, especially in the Subaru world for drag racing. So I hope you guys do enjoy these videos. And it's a bit of a change, you know, obviously we're working with wiring today. Yesterday we were working with engine bay painting. So definitely kind of different changes with it. Hope you guys are enjoying it. I'm gonna get going on this thing still. I really wish I could have some better camera angles, but unfortunately it's just me. So I can only do so much, and with how long it took me on that, there's no way you guys wanted to see that time lapse. So again, happy where we are. I'm gonna keep pushing along. I'm trying to debate if I want to put the dash or not back in yet, because I do know we need to wire that throttle. I guess, what would you call it? The throttle pedal. We need to wire that. So I'm trying to debate on how difficult that's going to be if I have the dash in there, which I don't think it would be too bad, because you can see there's literally nothing in our way to it, and the wiring is right there. So I'm trying to decide. I think I might just go ahead and put the dash in and keep pushing. I'm going to put the door panels back on, get the door handles, everything working. And if I do put the dash in, then I'm going to start putting this thing really together. So let's go ahead, get back to work. I'm going to record what I can. Excuse me. I'm going to record what I can for you guys, and then, yeah, I'll show you guys obviously before we end out this video. Not sure how long this one's going to be, but like I said, I don't want to make you guys sit through a bunch of time lapse. We are into the next day, as you can definitely tell, and it seems to be pretty nice out. Today's gonna be the day the transmission is getting picked up and getting shipped over to Prime Motoring. So that is gonna be very cool. And we did make a ton of progress on this thing yesterday. Might be a little bit dark in here, hopefully not for you. But as you guys just saw there, I got all the door panels on the car, and she is looking very complete. I'm not sure how well this is coming through on here. Like I said, it might be dark. There we go. You can kind of see. This screen on the camera never tells me really the truth, but this thing is pretty much all together. We are getting ready to put the dash into this thing today, and that leads me to tell you guys that we have that new gas pedal wiring plug. So I got to wire that on, and then once I do that, we can get that thing into the car and we can get our dash in there. So super excited. That means we should be able to make some big progress on this thing today and getting this thing looking like an actual car. So we are going to go ahead, get right on it, see how we can get this all together today. the camera decided that it wanted to rob you of some footage, and the battery went ahead and died, even though we were at almost 100%. So I don't know what was going on there. I'm sorry. I tried to show you guys exactly what I'm doing. I found a good spot for the camera in the car for once, and we did get those wires all the way soldered and heat shrunk and all taped up. Now, I'm not any wiring pro by any means. I did work at Car Toys before, for those of you that like to hear kind of backstories. I did work at Car Toys, so I did do wiring every single day and doing, obviously remote starts, audio installs and things like that. So I have a good base knowledge on it, but by no means am I a pro, I guess. I know how to do the basics. So really happy with how it turned out, and that is going to work. You may have noticed that some of the wire colors didn't match up. That's because this plug is not from an STI, which no big deal. The power wire that you saw that had some shielding around it, that wire is actually in the same spot, so we didn't have to worry about that. And I did get it all knocked out. Taking a look here, put you guys over. That's our end product. She's all plugged in, wrapped up, everything's good to go. So now we can move on to our next step, and that is fixing this wire here that's randomly just cut. So I don't know why. I haven't figured out what it goes to. It's something to do with turn signals or headlights or something. So I'm gonna look at that, see what I can do to fix it, and get that sorted so we can get this dash in here.
Living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane. Pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground. Living life up in the fast lane. Life, though you lemons, you just put them in Coronas, Coronas, Coronas. I've been working, I need that advance with the bonus, the bonus, the bonus. Ain't no thoughts about tomorrow, I'm just living in the moment, the moment, the moment. Full tank of gas and 200 on the dash, bitch, I'm zoning, I'm zoning, I'm zoning. Fast lane, living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane. Pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground. Living life up in the fast lane. Living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane.
So as you guys just saw there, we got our dash all the way in. We got everything mounted where it's supposed to be, and I'm starting to put in my new door seals here, which really does finish it off, guys. You take a look in here. Let's see if I can get the lighting good. I might have to get it from the other side. Hold on. Well, looking from the other side there, you can now see there's no headliner drooping down and seeing the yellow foam, so it looks really complete. That's what I really was going for with having no seals on there. It looks much better. This thing is, like I said, coming together really well. We still need to make our delete for the stereo there. I'm gonna make a nice delete plate for that. And I did just order this trim piece up here. I didn't know it was missing it, so I ordered one of those. But everything is coming out great. You can see we have our speaker covers on. Thank you to Ranchbuilt and Christopher and Craig. I'm sorry. Craig is the one that got those cut out and trimmed around the cage, which came out awesome. Got our new steering wheel in there. Only has 100 miles on that steering wheel, guys. I found that one online. Thing is brand new. So that's the look I wanted to go for. Yes, I know a lot of you will be like, why didn't you do a removable steering wheel? I mean, it's a race car. Well, you know, it comes down to preference at this point. The car didn't have a removable steering wheel before, so not that big of a deal not having one now. And that's what I prefer. Maybe later on I'll change it, but for now, that's what I'm gonna be running. And now I just need to finish getting all these seals on. Thankfully, they're all labeled. So I can get those on the car, and then from there, we got to start trimming out that carpet and get that in the car, which that's going to take some time. Getting it right, I'm not going to rush it. I want it to look really nice. So that's what we're doing right now. Let me go ahead and finish getting these seals on. We can jump onto the carpet.
Living life up in the fast lane. Losing track of time, but it's always on my side. Hit the still to feel the vibe. On my mama, I'm so live. Popping bottles around 9, and them ladies about to slide. Hey, I'm just living live. I'm just living live. Hey, rolling. Don't know if I'm coming or I'm going home for the summer in Miami when it's snowing. Might just end up in your city, baby. You won't even know it. Might just find out from the ground while I'm posing with some grands. Hey.
The light died over here, so it might be a little bit dark for you guys. This is my first time ever having to put a carpet in and cut it around a cage. So definitely a learning experience, but we are getting somewhere. That side obviously is going to be tremendously a lot easier because I don't have a bar here to run this under. So this side is going to take some finesse, getting that to run across there so that way we're all good to go. But the front doesn't look like we're going to be too bad for cutting it up. It's just in the rear because we have these bars coming down here, and then we also have that bar coming down there that we're going to have to trim. So I got to figure out a way to do this that it's going to look as clean as possible, which, to be honest with you, I'm not really sure how it's going to look as clean as possible. Yeah, it's going to be tough because you can see on this side, you can see more of the bar. What I mean. So trying to figure it out. Obviously I can't just put a hole and slide the pipe through because, well, it's welded, so it's going to be a point of like I have to cut the whole entire freaking carpet. So I think what I'll try to do is eyeball where it is, put a slit over here and run it around, and then clamp the carpet back together, and that's going to be about the best I can do, but not too sure. Trying to make this a complete video for you guys, so otherwise I tell you to leave in comments what you would suggest. But trying to make this as complete of a video as I can, and we can knock out this whole interiors in one video for you guys, and then we can move on to the other sides of the car. But take a look, guys, with carpet. Oh man, this thing looks so much better. I'm just not a fan of no carpet. You know, call me not a real race car person, I guess so. But like I said, you know, when you're building your own car, it's all completely up to you, your own rules, however you want to build it. Some will disagree with mine, but that's okay. You can build yours exactly how you want. And I'm gonna get back to work, try to get that thing to fit perfect, and I will show you guys what I come up with, whether it looks good or not. I don't know, it's my first time, and if I mess it up, I guess I gotta buy another carpet kit. So let's get to it. So instead of just jumping to the end, I'm gonna do a little midway update for you guys so that we can kind of see the progress of what's going on. And I am extremely happy of how I am been able to get this carpet cut. Thus, I am dealing with the front, which is a lot easier than what this rear is gonna be. I'm still gonna work on the rear tonight and try to get it down. I'm just really hoping I can do it a way that I'll be happy. So let's take a look at how good this thing looks, guys. Woo! Couldn't tell you how happy I am to see this thing coming together. Wow, this thing looks so good. Got the center console in there. I have the lower dash piece here. I do believe I'm gonna order the trim piece that goes across right there. That's usually an airbag, but I'm just gonna get the cover just to cover it up. There's obviously a couple little things I want to get just to make it 100%, but all that wiring is gonna be hid behind a console. I have a WX console right now from our FA project that some of you guys remember. Some of you may or may not remember it, but I do have that still from when we put an STI console in there. I think I'm just gonna throw that in here for the time being up until I get another STI console for this thing, and then it'll look completely complete. Because I think that's where I'm gonna be able to put my seam, is right there for where I'm gonna have to cut for the cage. That way it'll be all hidden. But just take a look, guys. This thing was completely empty when I got it, and to see it right here, right now, all the hard work come together, guys. Look at that. Wow. This thing looks so good. Definitely need to get the delete made for the dash right there. And I'll just completely finish it up. Everything is hooked up, including that display up there. I got a new one because it was empty. So everything is hooked up. Climate control is there. No, that it does not work. This thing does not have a heater car or any HVAC in it. But I don't know why I said heater core or any HVAC. I just plugged it in so it lights up and looks like it's there. This car is not going to have AC, heat, or anything like that. It has no HVAC in it, and I really didn't want to put that back in and try to cut that around a cage anyways. That's not the point of the car. And really, like I said, the point of it is just building it the way I want, and this is how I want it to look. Again, I'm super happy. Gonna clean this carpet up and vacuum it. This carpet I found for sale. I believe it was by 541 Motorsports. All they do is part out cars. And a lot of the parts for this car came from there when I was looking around and ordering them. This carpet only has 3,000 miles on it. And it literally, obviously it looks brand new with that. It doesn't look all dirty or anything. So really happy with that. I am gonna put some Subaru all-weather floor mats in here so that way it has something on top of it. With getting in and out of the car and the cage and at the track, it's gonna be dirty. So just keep it clean. And definitely gives you that street car vibe, even though I know that's not really the route we're going for this car, but definitely makes me happy to have a nice interior. So I'm gonna get back to work. Like I said, I just wanna do a midway update so that way it wasn't like I was just jumping ahead. And before I cut you guys off, I wanna show you the passenger side because we got the whole passenger side of the dash working, including the glove box. Yep, look how good this came out, guys. I mean, I am so happy with how the carpet has ran. Everything's mounted, everything's around. Even got like trim pieces like this on the side. Glove box is in and fully optional of working around the staging brake. It's the little things, guys. Just the little things. Some will understand, some will be like you're an idiot. But let's go back to work. So before I throw the seat in and finish out this video, I wanted to show you guys how my cuts came out. I'm by no means professional at this. I don't believe I'm going into carpentership, but it looks about as good as I can make it, especially at my experience level. I'm happy of it. Probably could have been better. I did learn some things, and I did talk to Craig since he's done this so many times at Ranchbuilt. So he gave me some tips, and it worked pretty decent. So you can tell here, it obviously is laying down now. I do need to go ahead and reattach my carpet here so you're going to see a line, but this pulls together nicely once I can do it with both hands. So that's all cut out down here. It's all trimmed. I can put my rear panel on there. And again, on this side, I need to pop that one down underneath that panel there. That's where the seatbelt goes. That's already cut like that from the factory, so I can't do much about it. That one's trimmed, and this one as well. So you can see my line there, which that one you really can't even see. So happy of that. Put that console in here for now. It is just loose because I need the bracket from back here. So you look, it's just in here loosely. Everything else is in there solid, and I do want to get the boot just to cover that. So little things. Now it's time to finally get the seat back in the car, which is sitting right there. This is a status racing seat for those of you that are interested in what that is. That's foam from the carpet over to the side. So I'm gonna go ahead, throw that thing in, and then we're gonna end out this video because we are as far as we wanna go on the interior right now. I still need to make the panel for the dash and mount that center console, reattach the carpet. So just little things, but for the most part, 99% complete. Super happy about that. So let's get the seat thrown in and finish this out, guys. I got that seat all in the car. The car is, like I said, 99% done on the interior. We still need to do those odds and ends that I mentioned, but this thing looks amazing. Seat is all in, whole interior is in there. Guys, super happy about how this came out. All the late night parts orders, thinking through, ordering everything I could and think about on the interior of this car is coming together. There's a few odds and ends I did miss, which I've already ordered, and that will definitely clean it up more. This thing is coming together, and that is going to end out the video here. I'm unsure of how long this is going to be because it's been 2 days drawn out and pretty in depth. So I hope you guys enjoyed kind of something different once again on the video, and from here on, it's then time to tackle this side of it. So you guys aren't going to want to miss that. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next video.
Living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane.